welcome to our very first podcast episode. What is this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a test one and stuff, and that never happened. Anyways, uh, we're here. We're both artists. We're both ready to start making content. We totally weren't stressing for 2 hours for audio and OBS issues.
Yeah.
It's
Audio
good.
is hard when you're a video artist, man.
Yeah.
When you're a visual artist, audio just doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I don't know how audiophiles people do it. Like they love it. I get it, the appreciation for the craft of like appreciating audios and like headphones and stuff, but I can't tell the difference sometimes.
Yeah. It's one of those things, it's like with people who are used to playing low-end graphic games and then they don't even see the difference when someone's like, oh, this is 60 FPS instead of 30
I
or
still
whatever.
don't tell the difference. Unless I'm like lagging like crazy, I just don't I can't tell.
Unless it drops under if it drops under 30 constantly, then I'll notice. But
Yeah.
30 to 50, it doesn't bother me enough for it to matter.
hmm but Rob, what are we doing here today? What brought two beautiful people together to start talking and recording? What do we have in store today?
Well, for today, I guess we just, you know, let the people get to know us.
Nice.
This is kind of like a podcast for us, it's like I don't know, diary is like the right thing, but we just talk about projects
Yeah,
and art and what's going on and
our
just,
interest.
you
I
know.
don't. There's at least in my opinion, or the thing I want to get out of it. It's not like for view. For me, it's not for views, or like getting high up in like the algorithm and all that bullshit. But it's more like I want to work more on art and like more on projects. And again, like I think we started this together because we thought it would both incentivize us to like work more on art for like our video
Mhm.
editing skills. Like we've been troubleshooting a lot together. Like I know me and you just recorded a let's play last night for that I'm probably gonna post on my channel eventually. Which was fun,
Yeah,
but
that was fun.
I've been thanks. But I've been very absent with like making art besides like for school, and it's different. But as of now, I really am hoping that this project of Cafe Olympus, which is our podcast name, um, I feel like that would help spearhead my artistic journey, especially together. So I'm really excited.
All right, so just for you guys out there to get to know us, we're probably just gonna just talk about how we got into art and like what inspires us and stuff. So best place to start, I guess, would be the beginning. Like, what made you start drawing?
Like the
Period.
like the very beginning, like when I dropped out the womb
Very
beginning.
beginning. Yeah, like
Ooh,
when you started drawing, why?
why?
Mm,
Um, so I guess I'll answer first. Mainly like I've always been drawing since I remember, and it's mainly because like I would remember these drawings that we have like a cedar chest and stuff of all my like little kid art drawings of like the potato heads and stuff and like little animals I would draw.
mhm,
But my mom,
mhm,
both my mom and my father, like they draw. So I just always had that like exposure since I was young, and I'm the oldest
mhm.
of my family. But my aunt and my grandmothers would even tell me like when I went to go see them, they would say like the earliest like drawing they could remember is like me like sitting in the living room and like I'm drawing like a cobra and you can tell it's a cobra. I haven't seen it. I think I've seen it once, but I'm pretty sure it looks like all it looks like is like a worm and then it has like two things near its head. But you can tell it's kind of a cobra. So that's
Yeah.
that's kind of what started it, and it's like for me to start like just drawing and sketching. I've just been doing that since like first grade. I would sit by the windowsill in class and like just draw the outside and like spider webs and stuff and like anything I saw. But later on down the line, and we can go more in depth in that, is like when my inspiration of like, oh, actually want to do this as like a career and a passion and whatnot came later
Mm,
on, like in really towards like the middle of high school. I knew I really wanted to do it.
feel you.
Yeah. But what about you? When did Rob started picking up the pencil? The earliest you can remember.
So the earliest I can remember is probably like kindergarten and stuff. And it's funny you brought up the Cobra, because like the earliest like drawing memory I can think of is like I was like obsessed with Pokemon, and
Really?
like one of the easiest ones for me to draw was Arbok. And to this day, Arbok's still like one of my favorite Pokemon,
Is
underrated
Arbok
mon.
the purple like snake guy?
Yeah,
Cobra guy?
it's the
Yeah,
purple
yeah.
like it's literally Cobra backwards.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not a big Pokemon. I like Pokemon, but I won't be able to name all the Pokemons, you know? Not saying that you can, but you know a lot more than me and you play more of the games. But I wonder why is that? Like why is it just simple? Is it just like, oh, we see snake and we can draw it? Like lines are really simple.
Yeah. I think there's a coolness factor to snakes, and
Yeah.
then so it's the cool factor and the combination of it being pretty simple. It's just a
Hmm.
line,
Yeah.
and then you just add to it.
Oh, and then you
But
get the
like,
tongue too with like the little like strands, the two strands out. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Picasso.
That's like very specifically a memory. I remember when I started adding this tongue line, I was like, "Oh, I'm so
Mm.
smart, dude! Like, this looks so sick." But
I
like,
didn't go ahead. You're good.
well, I was gonna say, so like the earliest memories like Pokemon stuff,
Hmm.
but I think the at the point of when I was like, okay, this is something I wanted to do, is like when I just started getting into anime in like fifth grade. I was like, okay, I want to know how to
Oh,
draw Sasuke and stuff, and I
yeah.
was doodling little kunai in my notebook and stuff. Like
I
that,
had
I'm pretty like I was just an anime kid. That's how I got into
yeah.
drawing.
So am I. Like, but I never really drew like anime. Like beside like until I got into middle school probably. But like um the earliest thing I could remember is like me tracing off of my laptop that like on
Hmm.
my mom's or my aunt's laptop, and it was like a chibi like Naruto, Sasuke, and like uh Sakura, is that her name?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I literally traced it and then I sharpied it, and it looked obvious that I traced it and stuff, but I just that was when you said that it reminded me of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely had like I drew when I was in middle school and further, but like me knowing that like, oh yeah, people do this for a living, I can possibly do this for a living instead of just like a graphic designer or like an architect that everybody said I should probably do, because that's the first thing you get told, at least in my experience,
Mm.
is like, oh, you like doing art, you should become an architect, that's good money, or the and then graphic designer, and I wasn't really passionate in graphic design. Uh,
Same.
but animation, and then animation led to wanting to be a storyboard artist later on in the end of high school.
Mhm.
Yeah.
See, the one everyone told me was caricatures. Like everyone was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you should do caricatures. That'll get you lots of money and stuff."
Mhm.
And I was very anti-realism for a long time when I was like
Really?
growing up drawing. Yeah, I just like I don't want anything to do with drawing real people. And I was
Oh.
still like that for a while.
Mhm.
It's only like recently that I got into it
Mhm.
because like I think now I see it as like a challenge. Like, how do I transfer a real person's like
Features
features
and
into
stuff.
like my art style?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what's disheartening for me for like because I used to do realism in high school because of my AP classes a lot. But what's really disheartening is that like once you can't get those like prime features down and you know what you're trying to replicate, it's like it's a lot
Mm,
harder to do that with somebody like actual face. Even with like caricatures. Like if it doesn't look like them, then you feel like you failed in that sense.
right.
But like stylized like cartoons or like comics and stuff like that, you can still go your own style and like like you can vaguely represent that idea and the people will still get it, you know.
Right.
Yeah. um but no, that's really cool. That's what speaking to piggyback off of the when's the first time or when you first began art, what's the first like drawing you were proud of, I would say, like you like fridge hanging up
Uh,
worthy that you were like stoked that you finished and you made.
oh, okay. Man, that was a
Yeah,
long time ago.
because I
I
can't
think
even
it was
remember one.
I'm thinking so there's like two because there's like the one where you were a kid and it's
Yeah,
like the best thing you've done. And then there's the one where like you first actually get into drawing, you're like, man, that actually looks really cool.
yeah.
But when I was a kid, I know it was like it was after Spider-Man 2 came out, and I was like drawing a Doc Ock. You know, he's the
Yeah.
guy with the metal arms.
Mm-hmm.
Like it had so much detail into it, just because the arms have so much going on. I felt so proud of myself that I
Nice.
actually like did it.
What was that? Was that like night? But Sam Raimi's Spider-Man came out in like what 1999 or 1998, and then
It
Spider-Man
was
2 is like 2005, I
I think
think.
so, yeah. I think the first one might have came out in 2002.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Everything everything before 2005 feels like 1999.
Yeah. Okay, Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man is 2002. Um, Spider-Man 2 was '04. 3 is '07. Amazing Spider-Man 12, and then so on, you know.
Mhm.
That's kind of, oh God. It just feels like that's just a whole void. I just say it's the 2000s already.
Yeah,
Because what? I wasn't going to watch that when I was 2 years old. I watched that when I was like probably like eight or something.
right.
Yeah.
I
Um,
do remember seeing the Spider-Man 2 when I was a kid. But Spider-Man 1 I
mhm.
definitely didn't see. I was drooling still.
Yeah. Spider-Man 1, the earliest I remember it. We didn't see it in theaters, obviously, but we had like a bootleg copy and it was like as if we were in the theater because he recorded it in the theater. Um
Oh my
and
God.
yeah, it was like some pizza joint that my parents used to work at, and then like the person who owned the pizza shop also sold bootleg DVDs. So every like time they came off of work, they would have like a whole case of like new movies for us to watch, and they had Spider-Man.
That's like the early 2000s side hustle.
Yeah,
Like
man.
I I remember as a kid, my like childhood barber that my dad always went to, and then I eventually started going to. He always had like new movies on deck. He literally like behind his like chair where he like cut the hair at, he
Mhm.
had like a computer that had a bunch of like disk drives on it. So it's like constantly burning disk, and I'm like,
Yeah. Dang, he's
like
doing like
on the
holy
fly
yeah.
constantly.
But you gotta think, like, what those CDs that you can burn, like, what back then they were like what, like $1 or something? And
Mhm.
you can just sell those movies for like either, if anything, $5. You're still making a profit. You just have to burn a
Yeah.
bunch of them.
Mhm.
But
Bundle them in with the haircut.
yeah, be like, hey, you want Men in Black One with that fade? Like, what do you want?
Dude, the pizza joint, that's a really good one. You get the pizza and a movie at the same place.
Yeah, because you're gonna eat it while you're watching the movie. But like, I don't know if he sold it with like customers, but I know like the workers because we got one. We got them all the time.
Dude, I just remember me and my brothers used to share a room and we had a VHS player
Hmm.
and then we had like a milk crate full of VHSs and Spider-Man was like one of them.
Oh, dang. Oh my
There's
God. Yeah, I forgot it was that old that it could be on a VHS tape.
yeah, like it was there was like 50 tapes in that crate and we only watched like 3 of them. It
Yeah, you
was
get it.
Spider-Man, uh Space Jam,
Oh, Space Jam's nice.
and
I still have like the plastic like in VHS, but like the plastic like crinkly case that you can open with the VHS tape.
yeah,
Yeah.
the clacker.
Hmm. What was the third one?
I think it was Air Bud or something. But as the older brother, I had control, so that meant Spider-Man was on almost 90% of the time.
No, I don't want to watch everybody. We're gonna watch
We're watching the first
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man movie for the 100,000th time.
Doo doo doo. Oh no, that's not Spider-Man. But you know the sound that I was trying to do.
Yeah.
Fred, put in the actual sound so I don't look stupid. Uh, um, just as just as an editor note to tell you, Fred is my editor. He's gonna be like the skeleton, but like the reason I chose Fred is because the Drop Dead Fred movie. If you ever watch that, but also Fred, like when I say the word Fred, like I almost peak saying Fred, so it kind of like, oh, I peaked right there, so I'm probably either yelling or saying Fred or something, you know. So
That's smart.
yeah, hopefully it works. I haven't edited it with that logic yet.
Mm.
Yeah. So you only had the Doc Ock like your like that's your childhood piece, right? But do you have like a recent piece?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have
Recent
to be
piece.
like super recent. It could be like once you like like what I guess I'm asking is that you understand like the fundamentals of art and you put that skills together and you critiqued it and you were completely okay with it and you thought it was great.
Okay. So I guess the thing that pop up is like whenever I learn a new thing or program.
Hmm.
So like I recently, I don't know if I showed you it. I guess we could put it up, but I recently
Yeah.
started like dabbling in pixel art,
Oh,
and I
okay.
used the VitoTube program to make like a pixel avatar of one of my
I think you
older
might have shown me.
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are they blue? Are you putting it up on screen or
yeah, I'll put it up on the screen. How about you?
I was like that's the thing I was trying to think. I know when I was younger, like super young, like this is middle school. The only thing I could think of is that like I had this anime idea for anime like a show, and it's like I had like all these characters, and I didn't have turnarounds, but I had like a character sheet basically, and it was all in Sharpie.
Hmm.
But it had like the lore and stuff, and the characters and the backstory, and like the power level and stuff. And this was really when I got into Bleach, like watching it and reading
Mm.
it. And the way I was introduced to anime was very like sparse because we didn't have cable. We had like the direct TV, like if you get the antenna, that's what you get. And then the public library. And I think I mentioned to it before, but like I would just go to the library and either I'll rent any movie that is available that's anime looking, or I'll just get like any anime off the book shelves that looked interesting. And that was Bleach, Um, what is the one, the fox guy, the Ichiro, the fox guy with the
Hmm.
red like gown? It showed like
Inuyasha.
Inuyasha. Yeah, that I read that a
Yeah.
little bit, but they only had like book 4 and 6. Um, and then Naruto. Naruto it had 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it had like 8, and then 14, and then 24. And so I was just like,
Like,
oh, he's slowly becoming a better ninja, and like, what the fuck? Now he's in a tournament, and then I was like, what the fuck? What, what's a Nine
the
Tails?
struggle. The public library struggles,
Yeah,
man.
that what really got me into like the anime and like drawing a lot more is like anime, and then of course cartoons once we got cable, once we got closer to high school range. um with Zach Bell, I got introduced to him because of the library. I'm very happy.
Mm,
And Soul Eater, I was just randomly, it was
yeah.
just like some cheap DVD, and I watched it, and I was like, I have to have more. And then Zach Bell, like, what, I think they ended the series before they like they stopped making episodes before they could end it. I could be wrong. I could be totally
That
wrong.
Bell.
Zach Bell, have you ever watched Zach Bell?
Yeah, I watched it on Toonami back in the day. But it was like scattered, like it was whenever I caught it on TV. I like the premise of it, but I didn't watch it like straight out.
Yeah, Zach Bell and Blue Dragon, 33 volumes, 150 episodes. Wait, what?
Jesus.
Never mind. Maybe I'm completely wrong. It's from April 2003 to 2006. That's kind of really. I thought it would be older than that. That's,
Ye-
maybe I gotta go. I gotta go totally not pirate and buy all the Zach Bell merch.
Completely legitimately.
Yeah, of course. Oh, and Yu-Gi-Oh!
Mm.
Yu-Gi-Oh! I didn't get from, and I'm gonna say my like thing. But yeah, basically the anime like stuff. Me having the story and like that's all I would daydream about is like anime characters and stuff, which helped me get more into art. But Yu-Gi-Oh I got into because of the flea market, and my stepdad brought home a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and he thought I would like it, and he gave it to me because he introduced me to Digimon and everything as well, and he brought home like the VH tapes of Digimon, but they were all in Spanish. Um,
Mm.
because the way it worked, and anime has a really prominent like effect in the Hispanic community, because before the US got anything like translations or whatnot, and before Mexico got translations, it was just in Japanese. So everybody was just, I don't think it was that prominent, but I just know from family members and like my stepdad and all them, they would just watch it in Japanese, and then eventually it got into Spanish, I think, before the US dubbed it,
Hmm.
if I'm not mistaken. But I
I
could
wouldn't
be
be
wrong.
surprised.
Yeah. Because it was just a
'Cause
lot more popular.
I definitely see like back in the day when it would take, well, it still takes a long time sometimes, but
Mm-hmm.
back in the day when it takes like almost a year, maybe more to get like translations, I would always see Spanish translations before I even saw the American ones, like
Yeah.
fan translations.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought that was super cool. Like I was like, dang, our friends below us are just as much into anime as us, man. That's kind of
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah. It's kind of, I don't know. It's just like, I just remember him bringing home like Dragon Ball Z, and then like Digimon. And I'm a big Digimon fan. I don't know any of the names or vaguely the lore, but I am very passionate about it. As in passionate, I was like, I will support it. If you're a Digimon fan, awesome. Pokemon, I
Careful.
I couldn't. Mm. That's a fandom. I'll say that's a fandom. I'm not. It's not a bad fandom. Is it a fandom I would die on the hill on? No. Will I go die
Wow.
charging up a hill on that fandom? Probably. Probably, and I'll do it again. We'll bring back
All
episode
my
zero.
Pokemon boys.
They don't even know. Uh,
We'll have to release that at some point.
probably like snippets of like um
Lost tapes.
yeah. But but my most recent stuff was like I think drawing this like Vito tube guy, like the guy that's on screen now. I actually like there's so many revisions that I've done and then of my OC of like
Mm.
cup for my channel. I didn't get anything cleared down except like the last one and I'm still not happy with his design. But like this design it kind of like captures me or at least I feel like and I probably will change it again in the future, but as of now like that I like it.
Yeah. That's the thing I like about like the VTubing scene. Like a lot of people's characters are like ever evolving and it's like an accepted thing.
Yeah.
Like characters change, character designs change constantly. As long as you don't make it too drastic, and even if you do make it a super drastic change, you just have
Mhm.
to explain that. People usually just accept it. Like, yeah, man, this is the new form. Yeah, I definitely had fun making my character and stuff. I the VTubing like programs can be kind of sickening, but they're kind of fun to learn at the same time once you figure it out.
Mhm. I Well, yeah, it's just I feel like I'm just too hypercritical, and that's always what I've been, and I think that's just because I've always been like working and doing stuff, and it's just like I have the fear of failing at something that I don't know how to do yet. So I procrastinate on
Mm,
doing anything. Like animating, like I was like I have all the resources, I studied up on it and stuff. I haven't tried it, so I'm too scared to try to put work effort and then I'm not happy with it. And I don't know what stems from that, but that's just a constant battle I have.
I feel you. Yeah. That's like an
Yeah.
artist thing, like an artist problem.
Yeah.
Especially when you're, I don't know, this is like a recent artist, this is a modern day artist problem, because I feel like older, like back in the day, artists kind of like picked their artist trade and then that's just what they do for the rest of their life. But modern artists, like, we just try different stuff constantly.
Yeah.
Like, chances are, if you know someone who draws, they probably have attempted like 3D stuff at some point, or they've
Yeah.
attempted to do like painting and digital art. Like you likely a lot of us are like trade, like we do multiple types of trades. Or at the very least try them just to see how they go.
I mean the internet has something to do with that because you're constantly devouring new content from a lot of other artists. So you see their work and you're like, "Whoa, that's cool. How did they do that?" And then you find out. And then now you're exposed to that.
Mm,
And then you kind of just you're always hungry to want to create, but also it's a negative thing because you always have these other artists to compare yourself and your work to. Um,
yeah,
so
that's definitely a that's a horrible trap to get in when you like just start comparing yourself and you're like,
yeah,
why should I even try, you know?
hmm
Like that's a horrible headspace to put yourself in. If you're drawing and you're an up and coming artist or just learning how to draw, the last thing you should do is look at someone else's art and be like, I can't really do that. I guess I might as well not try. Like just draw your art. 'Cause at the end of the day, no matter what level you're at, your art's just different. It's gonna be different. Someone else is gonna look at your art and think the same thing.
yeah.
Like,
Uh, it's just it's not a healthy thing, regardless. Like just make art and
mm,
it'll slowly evolve into something that you aspired it to be, and then you could always change it in the future and look back on it and see how you grew.
yeah.
But I need to take my own advice because I haven't been drawing for that exact reason of oh I'm too busy, I work all the time, or I'm too tired.
Yeah. Life hits you, man.
Yeah, but you know, I I still have time, but like I still have time, but it's just it is a pressure mentally of me like wanting to do stuff. But that's what the podcast is for. I hope to it's for us to inspire each other and we can work together as like a team. And then in like our own personal projects, like our own channels, if we wanted to get help and stuff, we can always like see if we can rely on each other, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you have a not I don't know how much you want to say and stuff, and if you want like you can bleep it out and stuff. But like with your JoJo redesign idea, you know, like that's a really good idea.
Yeah, I think I appreciate it. I
Yeah.
definitely want to get started on that sometime soon.
Yeah, I mean June just started or it hasn't even started yet. It's May 31st right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Shoot, I
but
think
yeah.
a segue into like inspiration, like what
Ooh.
kind of artists like inspire you? Because I
Oh,
gotta
no.
say, he's
I
definitely on
I
that list.
I asked the last question. So you start with your own you answer your own question you just asked.
So, well, okay.
So I forgot
So,
what the question was.
what are like artists whose like art style kind of inspired you?
Oh. Um most art I'm really bad with knowing like artist, like this is music or anything in general or like film directors, but
Mm.
I plan to get better at it, but like I know the shows and stuff and then I can easily just research it.
Yeah, you could just say the shows or books and stuff.
Yeah, this isn't gonna record it. But I have a bunch of stuff and I kind of glanced over it. But my main things
Mm.
like you want to know recently or just all time?
Like all time.
All time?
I think we got some overlap here. I
Yeah.
see at least a couple of those. I was about to say.
No. Um I want to say Newgrounds, a lot of artists on Newgrounds. I wish I got into Newgrounds a lot sooner. But I got into it like when I was like probably 17, but it's just there's so many great artists, but I got into Newgrounds because of Ego Raptor, which is Aaron Hansen, and then Gonzo Sim. I'm probably butchering his name, but he made the reason why I got into him is because of Tobuscus. Rest in peace. His career, not his life. If you know anything about Tobuscus, Toby, just don't. All right. Like
Yeah.
that was my childhood, and now it's not anymore, but it's still part of my childhood. Um, but basically, it's just like the guy who animated a Nugget and a Biscuit video for him, and then Ego Raptor, I found them on YouTube, and then that led me to Newgrounds. Um, but Aaron's like whole like Pokemon epic like the rap battles and stuff is just like his style and his comedy and like his timing for the videos and just I guess yelling. I was just like a drooling kid that just like anybody who yelled because I also forgot, but Jacksepticeye should be on there as well, along with PewDiePie and Markiplier. But that was my staple. They inspired me for like their design and like cartoon wise and stuff. And then uh is it I forgot if he went by Rubber Ninja or Rubber Ross. If he goes by Rubber Ross now, I think it's Rubber Ross, but Rubber Ninja. I got into him because of Game Grumps and Aaron. Um, but a lot of like stuff for like Autodesk Sketchbook when it was free. I drew a lot on my like tablet, but
Mm.
Scribbles Nettie was a big, huge part of my inspiration, and I don't know if a lot of people know her, but basically she did a lot of like fan drawings of like Markiplier and Cry and PewDiePie and stuff. So like she would do like the speed paint stuff, and I guess that like inspired me like seeing the process of digital art and drawing and like time lapse videos really got
Mm.
me into pushing and like all right, digital art's really cool. Um, I like it. I want to like dissect it and figure out like what program they're using and stuff like that.
Mm.
And then there's but those are like the people like I know. Besides like the authors for all these anime and cartoons and stuff that I have on, and
Yeah.
showrunners. But really, like when I was younger, Treasure Planet and the Iron Giant was like my one of my favorite childhood animated films. Just for the creativity and everything. And then again, childhood is Dick Figures on YouTube for Monomations. Monomations. It's like an animation company on YouTube. But I would just watch that religiously. And then there's, of course, when I get a little bit older, there's Adventure Time, and then Soul Eater, and then that led into Fire
Mm.
Force, Scott Pilgrim. I never read the books, but I watched the
Uh,
movie. But I read like a little bit of the first book, but I plan on making that like my collection, especially because I want to start because I haven't read any of the JoJo series or any of the Hunter x Hunter or Yu-Gi-Oh, but I plan on reading them and collecting them so I can study it as well because I've
hmm.
already watched it, like either the anime or like the show or the movie, I should say. But the way they do the panels and stuff, because I want to be a storyboard artist, I feel like it'll be really good for me to like understand like the timing and like the speed bubbles and like the line of actions and stuff like that that the artist made, And then of course there's Zach Bell and Sergeant Frog. Those is like I just kind of pulled up like all recent animes that like stuck to me.
Mm.
Um, so I in the future I definitely want to have some of these as like especially like Aaron's comedy and like kind of like the whole idea of Treasure Planet and Iron Giant, like having that um, fantasy sci-fi stuff I still like, but like I think I really get drawn to like Soul Eater, Fire Force, Adventure Time, and Scott Pilgrim's like design, like art design.
Mm.
So I think in the future I'll probably definitely lean into that for my style if I ever get to one.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Hello.
definitely got a lot of overlap on that.
Nice, nice. What you got?
Like, I would say like Soul Eater is definitely that era where I was really like studying, like pulling up YouTube videos and stuff, trying to learn how to draw.
Hmm.
And like, but there was a time where I started getting kind of like disheartened because I was like, as much as I liked anime, it wasn't really my style as far as drawing.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't really get it didn't really feel right when I was drawing it.
Yeah.
And that's where like Scott Pilgrim comes in because I started reading Scott Pilgrim. I love the Scott Pilgrim art style. Like,
Hmm.
I have all the books. Like, if you ever wanted to borrow that, I got all of them.
Oh, I
I
gotta finish the first book you gave me. The Super Mega Saves the Troops.
yeah,
Not
Super Mega
sponsored.
saves the troops, man. Shoot, that's fun. That shoot,
Not
I
sponsored
shot
yet.
them out. Yeah.
We do shout outs. Can we do that? Is that legal? Can we just shout out anybody?
No. As long as it's good, I think it's technically legal.
This podcast episode is brought to you by the World Health Organization.
You can't do that. You can't say brought to you by.
Oh no, not brought. Fuck, Fred. Fuck. Oh no. I
Uh,
mean,
this episode is not brought to you by the health organization. We do not care about your health.
yeah, we do. We do not care. This is not the affiliate links and numbers that you can call.
Don't call us, please. We can't help you. Call
Yeah,
911.
yeah, and don't sue us either, World Health Organization.
Yeah,
That's but
we don't
that's
have
really
money.
cool. We don't have money. Um,
But Brian Lee O'Malley, he's the artist who did Scott Pilgrim.
mhm.
Like, I like his art in general because it's really, I don't know, the way I would describe his anatomy is not quite sloppy, but like lax. And I really like that style.
Yeah,
Like,
it still captures emotion and like the characters and stuff, I would say.
Yeah. I got like all his books, like not even just Scott Pilgrim. I got like his first book was Lost at Sea. I was thinking of doing a video on it at some point too, just because I really like the
Mm.
storytelling in that.
Is it a comic or is it like a novel?
It's a comic.
Okay.
Yeah, he does a lot of all he does is comics, really.
His style is really distinct though. I feel like I mean, I don't know if he got inspiration from other artists to like make this style, but like if you see it like in YouTube videos or like video essays and stuff, sometimes I see like them use the same gestures as like stuff I'm seeing. And like it's very
Mm.
distinct. Like once you see them like use that as a reference, you're like, that reminds me of Scott Pilgrim, and it's probably from Scott Pilgrim's like inspired it.
Yeah, and then I think another inspiration, of course, is JoJo. Like
Yeah, yeah, of
I
course.
love JoJo, and like the JoJo have helped me like start exploring more dynamic poses, which I
Hmm.
need to get back into. But like I remember like if you looked at a timeline of my art, you could probably see the exact moment I picked up JoJo because all my poses got like all crazy and out there.
Yeah, I I definitely wish I was into JoJo like far sooner, but I definitely like he's just one of those like I don't know. It's just I don't know what made me into it because this is before like me and you like started being friends and stuff, I think, right? But I think we started being friends because of JoJo. I can't
Probably one
remember.
of the things.
Probably.
Like
But
we were talking and like chilling and stuff. I think when we both realized we liked JoJo, that was when we were like, okay, this guy's cool.
yeah, I'm okay with giving this guy my number
Yeah,
platonically. Um
platonically, of course.
but I don't know why I needed to add that. But it's just more like I guess I love the style, but I love like the absurd like plot that it had, and it just kept me engaged. But then again, I started with the anime. I haven't read any of the books. I want to. Again, all of these eventually I will collect all the books and I want to study them. Of course, like read
Mm,
them recreationally. But that's what I did, and it's on here. But it's I did for all of the Deadpool stuff. Like the co-creator Fabian, I forgot his last name, but Fabian, I've met him in person. He's a really cool guy. I had him sign a pop figure of mine, but
mm,
he like he would explain like all like his new comic that he was making and stuff. This was like probably 2 years ago. Um, his new comic he's working on, and he gave me a lot of good advice and stuff. And he's just said like just start reading content and like um try to dissect and understand like why they put these like characters in this composition and stuff like that, and that's what I want to do. But I started doing that with a lot of his Deadpool comics and a lot of other comics of Deadpool, and that's why I have so many, and I started
mm,
understanding like the panels and stuff more.
mm, mm.
But then again, comics are like 99 cents depending on where you go, so that's why I started with comics first, of the Marvel comics.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay, quick question, I guess we could just slide into from that. I mean, I guess the answer's obvious for you. Your favorite comic book hero is definitely Deadpool, right?
Is Deadpool, yeah.
Yeah.
I like me some comedy slash tragedy. Like even before I met Deadpool, I like his story, and some of the comics definitely like they're not just all like whimsical and stuff. Like literally, there's a comic about him like persuading a girl not to jump off a roof, and another one is just like his
Yeah.
having an existential crisis because his daughter's about to die, so he decides to kill Death herself, which in the comics he's in love with, but he would rather kill Death and still have time with his daughter. And his daughter's like probably like 82 at this point, but of course he's still alive because he's Deadpool.
Mm.
There's a lot.
Yeah, dang, that's sick. That's a sick
Yeah,
one.
I have to find it, and I'll let you read it if you want.
Word. Yeah.
But what
Yeah.
about you? Let's segue into that question real quick. What's your favorite like superhero? Like, should we expand it? Like, is it more than just like there's comic book heroes and then there's manga heroes and then there's like cartoon heroes? Because I can easily list the three different distinct ones.
Yeah, we can do all three. I'll
Okay.
say as far as superhero like comics, it's definitely Spider-Man without any there's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
competition.
I kind of figured that.
That's my boy, man. All versions, every version of Spider-Man and Spider-Women and whatnot. But of course, my favorite one is Noir, Spider-Man Noir,
Uh-huh.
and because his universe is as much as I love mainline Spider-Man, his universe is so different and like fleshed out. I guess like it feels very right. I guess because like whoever made it and decided the premise of Spider-Man during the Great Depression was like, okay, I'm gonna make this as realistic, quote unquote realistic as what
Oh,
would actually happen.
it feels more like a world, right? Like
Yeah,
it's not just like, oh, this is just a variant and stuff like that. There's like history and like there's more stuff going on.
yeah.
Okay. I
There's
can get that.
drama and stuff like that, like just dealing with the social issues of the time. He's very different from his Spider-Verse counterpart.
Yeah. Okay.
Though I do love the Spider-Verse version too.
Hmm.
They got Nicolas Cage, my boy.
Oh, Nick is. Oh my god, I need
That
to watch more of
was
his
such a
movies.
perfect choice.
Hmm. I didn't know they even made like comics based on the Spider Noir. Let's check that out.
Yeah. He's one of the earliest, like, well, not earliest, but like, as far as like mainstream multiverses go with Spider-Man, the Noir universe is pretty out there because they do a lot of characters. There's Iron Man, Noir, there's Luke Cage, Wolverine. Like,
Okay. Huh.
that universe is pretty fleshed out.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm. You said, and then like manga and
There's
stuff.
yeah, there's manga and then there's cartoon.
Okay. So is manga, it's gotta be Luffy. It's definitely Luffy.
Luffy.
Yeah,
Okay.
like One Piece is probably one of, I would say it's probably my favorite manga of all time. Like I love JoJo, but I think JoJo's more the anime than the manga for me. And even then, I like just the scope in the world building and just like the journey of One Piece has been way more impactful on my life, I
Yeah.
have to say, than JoJo, as much as I love it.
Hmm.
And Luffy as a character, just like he's got this like really good knack of like bringing people together, and
Hmm.
also like he doesn't take bullshit too. Like he's a good read of character and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Because I never
Like he's not
watched like One Piece, but from what I gather is he's like if anything's wrong in that area, he would try to fix it or something, right?
yeah. Like he doesn't let like wrong stuff going on just happen just because oh the person might be stronger than me or there might be consequences. He'll think about the
Yeah.
consequences later. He's just gonna take out whoever's doing the wrong stuff now. And that's why I admire that about Luffy.
Yeah. Nice.
I,
What a,
it
what
sucks
a,
that that's so long. It sucks that One Piece is so long. 'Cause I
I feel
really
like
want more people to get into it.
I feel like there has to be a way like so like there has they had a made it episodes like probably like episode 200 or something of like it basically introduces you for that episode. It's like a filler episode, but it introduces all the characters very briefly. Like it gives them like a short like screen time, so you can understand everybody in the crew, and then they just go somewhere
Mm,
random kind of thing. I guarantee you there's an episode like that I can
yeah.
easily just drop in, but I feel like I would get judged if I jump in the middle of One Piece.
See, if you ever want to take that journey, just let me know, and we'll watch. I'll find all the important like pre-time skip episodes. We'll
Yeah,
watch those, and then once you're acquainted with the characters, we can start post time skip. And like
Okay.
I can get you in there 'cause I've done it about 3 times. I've had to like get some
Convert.
people into this. Yeah,
Yeah.
same thing like I did with JoJo. That's why I converted all my friends to watch JoJo.
But it's just like One Piece has numbers where JoJo is just bizarre in the fact of like getting people to stay and sit down long enough to fall in love with it.
Right.
It's
It's two different problems.
yeah.
And for whatever reason, the strangeness of JoJo has not put as many people away as the numbers of One Piece. Like my success rate is way higher with JoJo, I have to say.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's a journey, you know. It is what it is. It's not for everyone,
Hmm.
but if it was for everyone, it wouldn't be as good as it is, I think.
If I wasn't taking summer classes, I'll probably definitely take you up on that. But I definitely am interested in watching because I tried um in the past and stuff, and then like it wasn't the numbers thing. It's just I kind of fell off of it.
Hmm.
And I can't remember why. I think it's just commitment issues.
You know, you're gonna be on the list of friends when I get old and we're all in a retirement home and we have nothing to do all day. Just know that there's just gonna be One Piece on the TV 24/7, and we before we get too wrinkly, we're gonna have to watch the whole thing.
I want to watch Zach Bell. Damn
No, Zach Bell, you gotta
it.
finish One Piece first.
No, One Piece for me is the entirety of Digimon series, and I'll watch that. I haven't watched all of them, but I'm definitely doing that before I watch all of One Piece. Now that I think about it, because now that you mentioned old age and before like we croak or something, I am gonna do fucking Zach Bell. Obviously now is what I said 150 fucking episodes. Jesus.
That's nothing. It's
I,
light work.
And then, but like all of Digimon and even the new stuff, like I love Digimon.
Mhm.
You know how many times I think there even is an edited version where it's like it delete took out all the like Digivolve scenes because that's mainly a big chunk of time for
Mm.
Digimon. It's just like it does the whole like, oh, you got to Digivolve so we can beat this bad guy. Okay, Digivolve. Digimon, digital monster, and then it does that for each fucking Digimon, and it's like a minute long for each guy, and then they finally fight for like 5 minutes, and then the next episode, and they're still fighting. It's one of those old type of anime stuff.
See, that's another thing. I I swear this is the last point. I will drain off at One Piece too long, but
No, no,
like
you're fine.
One Piece has evolved with anime, so a lot of the old tropes and
Hmm.
stuff that anime suffered back in the day, it One Piece suffers those like the first half, and then when you get into the modern era, they fix a lot of those problems.
Mm.
And that's another thing watching is just like seeing the animation evolve.
Oh yeah,
Like
I'm sure. Yeah,
the most recent episodes, there's a lot of like hype stuff going on. Like I'm talking like like hitting like the top charts and stuff like that.
yeah.
And the animation's like movie level. And then you watch the
Hmm.
first episode, and it's such a like there's animation eras every like couple of frames and stuff. It's like
Hmm.
God, we've come so far, man.
Yeah,
But there's a program where like a bunch of fans are like editing out like every filler thing and every like you said like shots that are just linger way too long for no reason,
yeah.
and they're just like editing all that stuff up to cut it down. And
Oh
I don't
shit.
know when that project gets done, but I'm throwing money at that project. I don't
Yeah.
care. Like that is a
Don't
great endeavor.
I think you told me about that before. Like, don't they have like a Patreon or something?
Yeah. I
Probably.
can't remember what the name is, but I'll have to look it up at some
Yeah.
point.
But it's just crazy how like the fan base can do that. Like they can all pitch in together and because there's people who are just trying to hire people like as fans and like get manga and anime and just dub them to English.
Yeah.
I saw that and I think it was either ad or just like a Twitter post.
Yeah, the
Um,
power of fandoms, man.
mhm. Yeah, it's like almost I need to be careful of what I say.
Yeah.
Um, but going on the same question, what's your cartoon hero? Like this is like Mickey Mouse
Mm.
era kind of thing. That space.
Uh, Ben 10 for
Ben
sure. I
10.
think is
Ooh, Ben
it.
10's a good choice. I wasn't even
I
thinking Ben 10.
fucking I love Ben 10 growing up. I still love Ben
Yeah.
10.
Ooh.
Like I gotta say
Mm.
that definitely one of those shows that like sparked my creativity. Cause like every time we got a new alien, you were like, oh, what's
Yeah.
it gonna look
That
like?
was a
Like, what's its
cool.
power gonna be?
God, I got in Ben 10 so late because like I think we no like I know I said we didn't have cable, but we would have cable on and off. Like it would get shut off. But the times we did, it
Same.
would get Cartoon Network, and then I see
Mhm.
Ben 10. Ben 10's a really good choice. Damn.
Yeah, dude. I always like I just been looking back at it, and I always thought I was on age because he aged up with the series. Like he
Yeah,
was like
there's like ult-
15 and stuff, and I think he was like
ultimate.
17 by the end.
Yeah, it's like the Omnitrix keeps like upgrading or something. I don't know. I lost track,
Hmm.
but it's
It
like
like so Alien Force, the Omnitrix like recalibrated. Then Ultimate Alien, the Omnitrix got destroyed, and he got the Ultimatrix, which is the one that let him turn Ultimate.
mhm,
And then at the end of that one, the Ultimatrix got taken away by Azimuth, the guy who made the Omnitrix,
mhm.
and he gave him a new Omnitrix because the first Omnitrix that he ever had was just a prototype.
Oh,
And
that's
then
at
the
the end
new
of the
one he got,
series.
yeah, at the end of Ultimate Alien, he got the new one, and that was the one he used throughout Omniverse,
Mhm.
which is the one that had that more like anime like art style that was really sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Ben 10.
What is 11? What's that guy's name? His like antagonist guy, but they become friends later on. Kevin 11.
Yeah, Kevin
Yeah.
11.
I loved his superpower.
Yeah, he
It
was
seemed
sick.
lame, but like it was just like sick. But also I loved him as a character.
Hmm. Love redemption characters.
Yeah.
What about you? What are your three?
I'm trying to think. I know definitely the cartoon will be Popeye. Um,
Oh,
just because with my grandparents and stuff, they had like a lot of videos and stuff. And we actually had I think some CDs of Popeye, and I watched those at a very young age. So that got me into a lot of like rubber hose. Like I know it's not exactly rubber hose, but it got me in that realm of like thinking like creatively, like drawing and stuff. Um,
oh.
Comic obviously is Deadpool. We already covered that, and then
Mhm.
anime, the manga section. I would say, just because recently I never really had a hero that stuck with me besides like Ichigo, which is from Bleach, I think. But I
Hmm.
still don't even remember the lore of Bleach or what Ichigo like was as a character because I haven't watched it or read it in so long. But
Yeah, that's Sam.
from watching Hunter x Hunter like recently, um, Gon
Excuse
Gon Gon. I don't know why I can't say his first name, but Gon
me.
Freeze is my favorite like anime protagonist ever. Like it has that in the
Mm.
anime, it has the cliche of like drawing out like things and stuff and like having the same like sounds and stuff like how Naruto did in the very beginning with like the drums and stuff. It would have that
Mm.
same thing. So it kind of got repetitive of that, but like he would always go like any situation, he was just hard headed and like didn't give a fuck what like the outcome was gonna be. It was like you're a bad guy and you say you're gonna kill me and everything. I'm not gonna fight you because I'm not gonna kill you or something like that. Or like literally a bad guy was trying to like be like, hey, I want to be on your side and stuff. Just trust me. And he was like, okay, I'll trust you. And that's it. Like
Mhm,
he's
mhm.
just an innocent guy. He's like, but he likes fighting. He's also like Goku, but like not an asshole father. um, and it's just
Uh-oh.
Killua, like his relationship with everybody else, like Killua, and but my favorite character, I'm waiting on it because the next like volume that's supposed to come out, like I haven't watched the anime, but I need to read the book so I can catch up. Um, is the one with the crimson eyes. I forgot his name.
Mm.
You might know. Um,
I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about.
he has blonde hair.
Yeah. He?
Um, Kurapika.
Karapika.
He would be
Yeah, he
my
has a weird
favorite.
name.
Hisoka is definitely my. I want to like him so
Yeah.
much, but Crollo is probably really close. 'Cause Crollo is really like cool.
Mm.
Oh my god! If you, I don't know if you ever watched that series, but you have to watch it eventually.
I've seen a little bit of it with Rosa, but I haven't like not starting from the beginning. Oh, I did start it a long time ago
Mm.
and just kind of fell off because I didn't have an internet at the time.
Uh, like after season three, like it starts popping off. I think I told you that, but like it's really good. Like
Okay.
characters start showing their abilities and like things get really wacky really fast.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, that's my three. Um, we kind of like glossed over it. Like I know I went over all like my inspirations and stuff, but like I know you said like a couple like your Scott Pilgrims and stuff like that. But did you have any more that you wanted to go over?
well, I was just thinking like you brought up like old animation and like I was just thinking like the first animation that ever made me go like, dang, that's crazy. How did they even do that?
Yeah.
Is like when I was little. Uh, you remember the Little Mermaid?
Uh huh.
When Ursula like whenever Ursula moved, like the way her tentacles would like flow.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being like memorized by that as a kid. Like it looked
Oh
so like
yeah.
fluent.
Yeah.
And I guess like that's just something in general, like really fluent animation looks is something that just gets me.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm mostly a character designer, I have a huge admiration for like animators and stuff.
Yeah. Because it's definitely something that like is not super appreciated. Like because it's very technical and like you have to understand like the keyframes and pacing and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
definitely make sure like everything with timing so it can all look nice. And that's why like I'm not worried about AI and stuff like because it's very hard for AI to get that right. Um,
Right.
and then but the funny thing is when I was that young, like with Ariel and all them coming out, I didn't know like animating and like drawing those cartoons was like a job until like I was in middle school. Which is
Mm.
like it makes sense, but like late middle school, like I didn't realize people like oh people draw that, like you can do that for a job
Mhm.
kind of thing. I thought a computer did that or like it was just a movie. I don't know.
Yeah. The only reason I knew was because it was one of those things where you like I didn't have cable or TV anything. I just had the DVD player.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just when I was a kid, I would just fuck around in like the settings and extra bonus features thing.
The
So when I
special
was
features.
bored,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and they were like talking about the animation. I was like, dude, that's so cool.
Uh, I kind of was just like after I watched the movie, I was like, all right, next quick
Mhm.
play Disney quick play movie. Yeah, 101 Dalmatians. Let's go,
Yeah,
Brother Bear.
that movie disturbed me as a kid.
Disturbed you?
Yeah,
Why?
'cause she wanted to turn the puppies into coats.
Oh yeah, it's. I forgot her name. It wasn't Velma.
Cruella Deville.
Cruella Deville. Yeah, she was embodiment of Nasty.
Cruella Deville. It's such an on the nose name.
Hmm. Do well, Rob. Do you have any other questions or anything, or like any? Because I can't think of any. Like I kind of, it's kind of all mine. I mean, I don't really think age or anything or
Mhm.
birthstone or stuff like that, but really just stuff that inspires us and uh, wants us to make art. I feel like that's
Yeah.
important.
Okay, there's one more. I'm
Okay.
thinking. Cause did you ever you made OCs back in the day, right? When you were a kid, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you remember any like your early ones? Like
I mean, does imaginary friends count as OCs? I don't know what that says about me as a person, but um, trying to think. Like I have that animation, I mean that anime like idea, but I can't remember their names. But it's just like there were four of them, and they were all like 15 or basically around my age because I wanted it to be like oh likable and stuff like that.
mm,
But one had the premise was like they wore masks and that mask gave them abilities. So it was kind of like Bleach. Which I don't know if the mask gave them abilities. That's just what I remember from the show. But they also had the swords and like blades and stuff like that. So some guy had scythes and some guy had literally like swords, and at the bottom, or no, he had like, but it was also guns. So he had a Uzi, but the clip was like a
mhm,
blade sword at the end, so he could like slice and shoot Uzis and stuff. One guy had like a revolver, like katana thing. I forgot the other
mm.
guy. But they're all like gun slash blade mix, and I know that's not like a new trope or anything. But at the time, like I didn't see anything like that, and I thought that was like a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Shit. I mean, Ruby's the first time I even saw anything like that. Like
Yeah, I
blade
mean,
weapons.
uh-huh.
Well, in Ruby, like every weapon is also a gun kind of thing.
I never watched Ruby. Like I know of Ruby, and I may have watched like one clip or something. I never got into it.
Mhm. It's it's a mess. Uh it's one of those things that you kind of only enjoy in the time. Like if you didn't watch it when it came out, watching it now is like, dang, this is rough. Like animation and writing wise, it's just a really not that good show.
Yeah,
But the character designs and stuff are really good, and the music is really good. It's very like it feels like something that as like a middle schooler you would like make OCs about.
yeah.
Like it very specifically hits that
Hmm.
like mark. But
Did
as an
you?
adult, it's kind of like
Yeah, it
hmm?
doesn't age well, kind of thing.
it, no, it doesn't age too hot.
Yeah. I mean, I think it still looks good. Like, I mean, you could say the same thing about Red versus Blue, but like, I think they're both still good. Possibly.
Hmm. See,
They're
Red vs. Blue had really funny writing though, for the most. Actually, I haven't watched it recently, so I don't know how good it holds up. Have you watched it any like
not
in
lately,
a?
no.
I just remember like laughing out loud at it when I was like younger. And there was definitely a lot of funny jokes in that show.
Yeah, a lot of my friends, especially on the Xbox and stuff, would laugh about it. Back when we were like, um, like late middle school. Did you have
Mm.
any OCs or anything?
Uh, well, when I was younger, fuck, the one you said wasn't as cringy as mine. I thought we'd be on close cringe levels as far as
I mean, I
childhood
just can't
OCs.
remember my thing.
No, but like as a kid, the OCs I made were all like Teen Titans based OCs. Like you remember that old the show
The
from
what?
like 2000s, the early 2000s Teen Titans show?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my characters were all like self-insert for that Teen Titans show.
Oh, nice.
Like,
That's it's not cringy. I think is I never had like I think you know what? I think I had a self insert for Soul Eater and I gave myself like Death the Kid like hair and stuff, but I gave myself like different like guns and stuff. It was very
mm,
weird, but it was very 2D like drawing. Like it was very flat faced and stuff like that. And I would
yeah,
call him Solo, I think. It was very weird.
Solo. Oh,
Yeah.
that's sick. That's sick.
No, it's very cringy. I think now that you remember it, because Teen Titans reminded me of it.
No, I
Well,
definitely made OCs for that show too. Soul Leader,
mhm,
Soul Leader is a show that lends itself to that a lot too.
yeah,
Just because of like the power system is easy to like incorporate yourself into.
yeah.
Like another thing I want to make a video about is just like Mary Sue characters, like the Mary Sue OCs that people used to make as a kid. Because like, yeah, it's a little embarrassing, but there's something so endearing about it to me.
What do you mean by
Like,
Mary Sue? Like, what does that mean?
like the character just shows up and does nothing wrong and can solve all the problems for everybody.
Oh, that like fixes it. Like,
Yeah, they're like the woe is me half demon character. Like they're just
like,
OP.
yeah. There's like, they have all the powers and stuff they can fix.
Yeah, but they're like super edgy, even though they don't really have any struggles. Like that, those kind of characters are so endearing to me. Just because I feel like when they're self-aware, it's really funny. It can be really good.
Hmm.
When they're not self-aware and like the character, whoever creates the character is so set on like, oh, this character is serious, man. This character actually is deep, but it's just not. Then that's when it becomes kind of cringe. But
Mhm.
it is what it is. I just feel like it's fun.
I got you. I mean, if I ever come out across more and stuff, I'll let you know. I just moved, so I mean, I might have some like old sketchbooks that I can look into.
Gotcha.
Um, but that's I want to like talk more and stuff. Like that's kind of, I mean, we're at like an hour mark, and I do have to get ready for work. Like almost
Gotcha.
6. Um, but no, I feel like this is a really good like first episode, and hopefully like we got a good like understanding for both me and you, and then for everybody else whoever watches.
Yeah.
Uh, we'll show more of our interests and stuff like that, especially with like the background and everything, and like as it grows, we'll have more like references and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
did you want to leave off on anything or?
Uh, that's about it. I mean, if you made it to the end, I appreciate it, and I hope we can kind of go on this little journey together.
Yeah.
You
Um, did you want to sponsor slash not sponsor anybody?
know. Hey,
Shout
Raid
out.
Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Nah, but nah, I don't think I got anything.
Um, I have a shout out for a coffee brand called Top of the Morning Coffee. Um, and the only reason I finally bought into it is because they had a crisis international crisis line. They gave elite like a good portion of their proceeds going to that. So I definitely endorse it. I don't know what I can say legally, but definitely go check them out. It's top of the morning coffee.com. Um, but I don't mind shouting out really good, wholesome stuff. Not sponsored.
Yeah.
which is it's actually pretty good coffee. And I was never a coffee guy, but it's been getting me into some coffee. But yeah, like Rob said, we hope we continue to do this journey. We just want to have fun with it and grow our art and our style, and hopefully you have just as much fun for the ride. So thank you for tuning in, guys.
Take it easy.
Take it easy. Boy.